Hi, this is Matt Mountain with 410 Solutions, and this is a demonstration of the private equity accelerator that I have built on the Salesforce.com platform. Over the next 10 minutes, what we're going to be doing is walking you through what has been built and what can be deployed in your organization. This application was built on the Salesforce Sales Cloud, and I have chosen to create an application called Private Equity and put these tabs up here at the top. We're going to be starting with the Home tab, going all the way through to the Dashboard tab and showing you the functionality and the design of how other private equity firms have used this in the Salesforce world. From a Home tab standpoint, the Home tab gives you the ability to customize the components that are important to you. I chose to put a fundraising dashboard here. We've got the assistant that will notify you if there are some things that haven't had activity in a while. I can look at my recent records, my tasks, my events, any open fundraising opportunities. So again, all this can be customized based upon what's important to you. Starting with the Account tab, what we've got here is we've built out what's called record types. And the idea behind a record type is that it gives you the ability to track different information and have different relationships between other records. So in this case, we track intermediaries. Companies would be for prospective, active, or past portfolio companies, and then LPs. Instead of creating one, I put a lot of sample data in here. So when I click on accounts, I have chosen to look at intermediaries as my main view of the data. A view gives you the ability to segment your data in that tab and only see a subset of it. I've also built some views here because I only want to look at my LPs, for example, or I may just want to look at the companies that I've got here in the database. You can create as many views as you want. But going back here to the intermediaries, what I'm going to do is pull up, say, Forvis here. And I'm tracking basic information about them, website, phone number, so on and so forth. But what you can also see is some report charts down here. So I can track, hey, how many deals have they given me by industry, by some of the equity investment? And on every page, what you're going to see is on the far right, we've got activities over here. So it was very important to standardize the page layout such that when you come into a record, activities are always on the far right. We always come into the details page and can see the details of that record. But then next to it is related. So not only can I see the related records here, but I can also see them here in the quick links. I prefer to use the quick links because instead of having to click here and scroll down and look, I can just hover and I can see all my data here. Okay. So now what I want to do is let's go into a contact, and instead of having to click on the contacts tab to find somebody, I'm just going to hover over contacts and let's just select Tony here. And what you can see is that we automatically went from the account tab over to the contact tab. Now here I'm tracking a little bit different information, what's Tony's title, email address, so on and so forth. But I also have a report chart here. Has Tony been a good referral source? And in this case, I want to see the status of the deals that have been referred to me by Tony, so I can look at them by status here. Next, what I want to do is move on to the fundraising fund and deals. And again, these tabs can be renamed to whatever is important to you. You may want to rename fundraising to be fundraising opportunities or what have you. So these tabs can be renamed. But let's just click on the funds. And I put a couple funds in here, so let's just select Fund 1. So Fund sits between the fundraising and the deals. And in this case, I can see all the related records. So I want to be able to see all the fundraising records. And the nice thing is, as I click on this and come in here, I can sort it however I want. I could do it by amount. I could do it by stage, by close date, what have you. Okay? So this gives you the ability to segment and look at data how you want to see it. Now what we've done is if we were to click on one of these fundraising opportunities, and let's just go back into the related list here, and let's just click on Allied Resources here. What we can see is that we're tracking information about the fundraising opportunity. What's the amount, close date? What are the stages? Now, all of these stages can be customized because you may have different naming convention. Totally fine. We can make that change. This fundraising opportunity is tied to an organization as well as a fund. And we also have a fundraising naming convention in place. So as you select the account name in the fund, it pre-fills in the fundraising name so we have consistency around fundraising, because that is going to be very important from a reporting standpoint. We can also see, in addition to seeing the stage here and making a change here, we also have a path up here so we can see it visually also. Now, some people like to look at their fundraising opportunities from an Excel standpoint. So let's just come in here and let's just say I want to take a look at my fundraising pipeline, for example. Now, this is across multiple funds. I may want to be able to come in here and take a look at it this way. Other people like to look at it from a Kanban standpoint. So if I click on the Kanban here and I see that the pipeline by stage, and I realize that Kleiner Perkins Fund 2 is actually at due diligence, I can drag it over here, and when I do that, the numbers at the top, the 51.5 million and the 15 million for due diligence, will change. So now this is 20 and that's 46.5. So it's totally up to the user as to how they want to see their data. Going back to the fund, I'm just going to click here on a Fund 1, and that'll take me from the fundraising back to the fund page. When we're doing fundraising and we get somebody to invest, we change the stage of the fundraise to committed, and it will create a committed capital record and allow us to sum up how much has been committed against what is the target amount that we're going for. What we can also see here on the fund are a couple of report charts. I want to see open deals, and I want to see deals by status. Now, I've got a related list here, so I could see all of the deals associated to this fund. So as I go into one of these, and let's just take Venmo, for example, I can see different information about the deal. In this case, I want to tie it to an account. Who is the partner sponsor and the team that's working on it? What fund? Competitive situation, firm role. Over here, I can track the equity investment, the NDA date, the IOI date, the investment date, the referrals, as well as other information. Now, when you get to a point with Venmo and you make a commitment and an investment in Venmo, the screen is going to change. So instead of doing it here on the Venmo, I'm going to pull up Varuna, and I had recently changed the stage to committed for Varuna, this Varuna opportunity. What you're going to see is a whole new set of fields, because now that you've made an investment in them, now you probably want to track different information. So as far as that goes, we have new fields here for you, but we did not lose the original fields. They're still down here at the bottom. But we also give you the ability to track the financial results, the investment structure, and the capitalization. All this data can be used then so that you can report back to your investors as to how the fund is performing across all of the investments that you have made. Lastly, I want to go here to dashboards, and what you're going to see is that we created two dashboards, a deal dashboard and a fundraising dashboard. If I were to click on the deal dashboard, we can see that we have a number of different reports in here. Some of them we're displaying as numbers, charts, stack bar, pie. So all of this can be modified based upon what's important to you. What we also have here is a filter. So if I want to take a look at all my deals, I simply change the filter and the reports change. Each one of these components is actually a report behind the scenes. So if I want to look at the detail behind this $90 million, I simply just click on the link here in the lower left. And what that's going to do when I do it is we're going to go from the Dashboard tab over to the Report tab, and I'll see all of the data behind it. And there you have all the data behind that 90 million. And then finally, we also have a fundraising dashboard built very similar. Doesn't have as many reports, but also gives you the ability to take a look at it by fund. So this has been a high-level overview of the private equity template that has been built and can be made available to you. If you have any questions, please give me a call, 513-482-1127, or send me an email at matt@410solutions.net. Thank you very much.